Hi, this is Oliver Blair from Massey School of Design in Wellington. I'm going to tell you how to mess around with terrain in CryEngine. So first of all, I'm going to load up my proper one screen layout thing, which should have the roll-up bar over here. Yep, here we go. And so basically, when you start off in a level, all you'll have is the ocean, and you know what if you want some land in there as well. Well, on the roll-up bar on the second tab, there's something. If I click on that, it's called terrain, and then you can sort of there's all these sort of sub menu things to it as well. If you click on the first one, modify, then it gives us this sort of brush settings, and there's a whole bunch of different modes: so flatten, smooth, rise, lower, or pick height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on flatten, and what that's going to do is it's going to bring it up to a certain height. I think by default it gives us on 1. I think the ocean is a 16 meters high, so I'll bring this up to 20. Yeah, and then I'll just sort of paint around here. It's not really doing anything, so what I'll do is I'll go down onto the ocean floor, and oh, that's not working either. Where am I? What's going on? Oh, see how my brush is way over there? It's because the land's just over there. See how when I'm just sort of hovering over it? So to figure out where your land is, to even start brushing, because sometimes you'll be like up in here, and you might be like 1,000 k's over this way. So to figure out where the land is, you can go up to terrain, and then edit terrain, and then I think it's modify, and then set ocean level. And what you can do is just put this on negative, so negative 20, and that's just going to hide the water altogether. And then if I look around, sort of pan around, oh yeah, there it is over there. So I've got some weird sort of stuff going on, some weird fish, but just ignore that for a second. Okay, sweet, so now we can see this little box of land. And if I draw with the modify tool again, and it's on flatten, and oh, it's on 100 for some reason, I'll put it on 20. And you can sort of see there's a wee paintbrush kind of looking thing, and a little yellow marker to show where what that height is. So that's 20 meters above. So if I click and I sort of paint around, I'm sort of using the WASD keys to move around, and you can sort of basically paint the land surface to be that height. So what if I don't want it that steep? You can put it on rise / lower. And what this height is here is it's the kind of scale that it's going to move that land. So it's going to move it all up 1, like no matter where it is. See how it's sort of moving it all up? So you can sort of move everything up. Or what if I want it up a bit higher? So I can put it up to 20. And then now everything's sort of moving up a lot quicker. You can make these kind of like cliffs and jagged mountains and things. And it's just like sort of like Photoshop, how there's a brush. You can sort of change that brush size with these radius options here. So what I'm going to do, I'll max that out to 200. Now the brush is like quite huge. If I click, it's sort of raising everything up, like the whole thing. So I'll just undo that, undo, and then go back down. Maybe I'll put it on like 100 or 30. Yeah, it gives a better sense of what's going on. So that sort of raises everything up. But what if I want it sort of a bit smoother? You can click on that smooth thing. Maybe put the radius up a bit there. Chuck the hardness up a bit. And then if I click there, see it's sort of smoothing everything out to the sort of average of whatever's in the brush. So, this is going to sort of smooth all those jagged bits out. And also makes that cliff a lot shallower, not as steep. Yeah, so that's basically how that works. If I go back to rise lower, I put this on like 15. So see how the inside radius is on 0? So see I've got this brush and it's on 0. If I put it over to 10, now it's got 2 circles. And that's the sort of how rough it's going to be. It's quite sort of violent, isn't it? And you can also put it on negative numbers, so I'll just make it shrink, sort of depress it down. But you can sort of see what that inside radius is doing there. If I press down there, compared to if I undo that and put the radius up a bit higher. Oh, that's too high. You can sort of see what it's doing there. Sort of not as smooth. It's quite sort of it's just more like stamping it down. Compared to if the radius was like that, it sort of smooths it down. Well, that's looking kind of cool. Now turn that ocean back on. Edit terrain, modify, and then set ocean level. I'll put it on. I'll set it back to 20. Cool. So by default, it's got this sort of this checkerboard texture. To change that, you can go up to terrain and then texture. And what it's using by default is this material here. So if I click on this, it comes up with this terrain layer texture, and also it's got a material set here. They do a couple different things. So this big image here, this is going to be over the whole map. So see how it's sort of 512 by 512? That's the size of the whole terrain layer. So you can get sort of maybe like a Google Earth view of a city or something, and then put it in here, and it'll put it over the whole map. But what if I want to change just that material? So I'll click on that material. Maybe I'll pick a different one. So is it objects, or maybe I'll do materials, and then where are all my materials gone? Oh wait, there they are. Sometimes you have to click refresh. I don't know why that happened. And there's some good ones I think in terrain. I might chuck it on some beach, some white sand. So what I'll do is I'll just select that material, yeah. Go back to the terrain texture layer and go assign material. And it should, yeah, change to that white sand. And now if I, oh great, it updated automatically. So now it's sort of looking like that. So that, again, you just sort of open up the material editor, pick which material you want. Oh, it's behaving very strangely. Maybe it's because I'm recording the window. It's updating a bit slower. Yeah, and then select the material you want. Back into the terrain texture layers, and then go assign material. And you can actually have multiple like layers here. You can add more layers, and then I think it's over here in the terrain on the roll-up bar. You can go layer painter, and those different layers will be here, and you can sort of apply different layers to different areas. For example, maybe I'll do that now. I'll just quickly add layer, and then so this one's default, but it's actually called new layer, confusingly. I'll go to layer painter, and it should be here. So now we can apply this texture to that area, so you can sort of get a sense for what's going on there. And again, just with the brush size radius, and also there's a hardness kind of going on there too. So you can sort of blend different areas. So maybe that's like sort of rocks or something, or beach, and then there's grass up higher, and yeah, things like that. Cool. So that's how you do that.